I run Rehan School. Rehan School is the school for the 21st century, using all the technologies and the knowledge we have in the 21st century, as I call it, post-YouTube and post-Google era, where we use the power of the internet as much as possible to empower our kids. Why did I make this school? When I traveled to Silicon Valley, I saw this university called Singularity University, and I was very inspired that their total curriculum was designed to solving problems. I am already a fan of Peter Diamandis, who also is a co-founder of this university and also started the X Prize, which basically tries to solve problem for 100 million people. I've been using the internet since the birth of the internet. Well, not maybe since the birth of the internet, but since the birth of the internet in Pakistan. That's where I'm from. And whenever you start something early, you want everybody else to know. At least I wanted everybody else to know about it. And I've been screaming and yelling and shouting and videoing and blogging about how the power of the internet can empower the planet, right? So I wanted my own children to go to a school where they become problem solvers. I wanted to be a problem solver. I wanted to be as big of a problem solver as I can be. And as Peter Diamandis says, today 4 people can change the life of 1 billion people with the power of the internet. So where are these kids? Why aren't the kids in Pakistan and other parts of the world actually solving problems? I don't know if you saw this episode of Star Trek where the team lands and everybody, the researchers and scientists, were all kids. They were actually solving world problems of that world. And I don't know if that was the moment or some other moment, but I really wanted to teach what I've been teaching to adults on how to solve problems through collaboration, through videos, through contribution on the internet. And I made courses around it, I wrote a book around it, and now I wanted the kids to do it. So I imagined a school like this around 5 years ago, and I've been trying to build it, and eventually in 2022 I was able to acquire a space and kids to do this. I'm very happy that I have a fantastic team, including this Mr. Mufti, Mohsin, Altaf, Turkey, and other teachers in the school who basically have been giving 18 hours a day in building this revolutionary school system. Why is this revolutionary? So what is revolution? A revolution is when we totally change something. So when I was young, I remember I started going to my father's business when I was 5 years old. So I used to go every Saturday. Then when I was 8 years old, I was going more often. Summer vacations were spent with work. Then when I was 10, I was sent to my uncle's space where I had to do kind of a hard labor, but basically I was like an apprentice, working there, cleaning the space, picking up stuff, handling whatever is needed as an apprentice at that space. And this is a normal thing in our community. The kids are sent to work with their elders so they can learn, and we call it shagirdi, or being a student. So I started my business when I was 13, and I thought, that's the best time. You're not worried about a married life, you're not worried about who will provide in the house, you're not worried about how to pay electricity bills, how to pay your bills. You're just a kid learning. And I thought, what if we could use 2 to 4 hours a day by these kids and giving them an assignment which would allow them to become problem solvers. Ken Robinson and Sugata Mitra are a big inspiration in my life. Because of them, I started the first version of our school, and back in 2011 or 12, where we made a school in a box And this is before there was high-speed internet available on smartphone or smartphones available to masses, right? So we made a box with preloaded content teaching them basic literacy. We made a school till high school grade, but then we went back on the drawing board and made it only for digital literacy. So now what do we do in the school? So we are making the primary function or mission is two. Number one is to create problem solvers who would use the power of technology to solve any problems which they see around them. Imagine you were creating a school on Mars, like my friend Nivelle said the other day to me. How would that school work? What would you actually be teaching in this school? Would you be teaching them the traditional problems to solve on Earth? Or you would want a school which would solve the problem of Mars? So today in Pakistan, we are teaching people how to solve global problems, maybe. But in Pakistan, we have our own sets of problems. We have 65% of the population who cannot read and write. We have maybe 20-30% of the population who doesn't have toilet. We have no electricity 24 hours still in the 21st century, all the time. Fuel prices going up around the globe. Climate change. Pakistan is on the top 10 country hit list to be hit by climate change. We have no clean drinking water in the taps. So how do we solve these problems? The politician seems to be not interested in solving our problems. The trash and water problem is not being solved by entrepreneurs. So how do we really solve them? Now, all these problems are not like rocket science. Many countries have solved these problems, and the people who have solved the problem have become TED speakers, book authors, specialists around the world, professors. So what we do in our school, one of the period of the school is dedicated in learning through TED Talks. So we interview the child and we give him or her an assignment that this is what you will be working on for 2 to 4 years of your next life. So we try to start it at the 6th grade. So from 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th grade, these students have to watch a TED Talk on one subject. So we have chosen around 50 subjects, all around the SDG goals and also around the local problems. Now, one of the biggest problems is water. We call it pani in our language. So the kid has become pani wala. Wala is like a smith, a person who is doing work of pani. So pani smith, you can call him, or water smith. And their job would be to watch a TED Talk every day on water, or another YouTube video on water till when TED Talks run out. And then making a video like I'm making in our local language, which is Urdu, in their own mother tongue, whatever language they speak, and in English. So they have to make 3 videos out of 1 of whatever understanding they have from that. My experience says that after watching 100 videos and after creating 100 videos, these kids would be pretty smart already, and they would already know more than most people what they know about water, because TED Talks are pretty amazing. And then after 100 videos, we want to give them labs where they can actually experiment based on whatever they have learned. Remember, everything they're learning, they're posting back on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and tagging the original author, original TED Talk speaker. And in that way, this TED Talk speaker, the chances are that 10% of them would communicate directly to these students, and they will become their mentors. They can actually communicate directly with these students offline. And this way, we are truly creating a disruptor in different spaces who are not just doing conferences in amazing hotels and conference rooms, but they're actually putting everything out there on the internet. And they're open to collaboration through Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. The second thing we're doing is 65% of the country, for example, as I said, is unable to read and write, but they do have smartphones. And what we are trying to teach these kids, starting from the 7th grade, is freelancing. So while they are students, an hour to 2 hours a day, they have to use something like Canva and Fiverr and Upwork to start learning how to make images, postcards, birthday cards, whatever anybody can design on Canva, which is pretty huge. And then we're teaching them how to sell this stuff on Fiverr so that they can end up earning $500 a month. Their parents normally earn $100 a month. So imagine if they could add another $400 a month to the household income, how amazing their household will become. And on top of that, we take 20%, which is $100, once they start making, for the school so that we can pay our bills. And that is approximately 10 times more money which a typical private school in Pakistan charges. What that means is that now any out-of-child student would be in big demand, because people will start opening schools, because these children are now becoming amazing commodity, because they're earning for themselves and they're earning for the school and they're earning for their parents. So everybody's happy, the school is happy, the parents are happy, and these kids are starting to earn 5 times more money than an average Pakistani would make, while if they have completed their bachelor's and master's degree even. How amazing is that? So this is why I opened this school. These are the 2 primary objectives of this school. Is first to get them enough money for their family to survive, and then second is to make them amazing in the 4 years of them being assigned to a wala, which is the smith or the worker of that subject. They will have approximately 1500 videos on the internet, which means they spent 1500 hours on a subject. If you spend on anything anywhere from 500 hours to 1000 hours, you already have a master's degree on that subject. You're already master of that subject. And imagine learning just from TED Talks. Imagine learning from the top of these experts. Imagine connecting to 1500 top experts of the planet through LinkedIn and Facebook, through Twitter, and communicating with them on that subject, and actually being their apprentice in the future whenever they are required to. I foresee that these kids will really become phenomenal in whatever they choose to be. So the objective of our school is to create this new fundamentally different system of learning, and through this system we will be able to really create problem solvers. Not only this, I believe that there are 5 components in the 21st century which we should learn, because nobody actually knows how the world will look like in 10 years. So we want them to be able to learn to collaborate, to communicate, to meditate, they're just like focus, to learn about their body, how their mind works, how their body works, exercise, yoga, and languages. So the language component, we are connecting these kids back to the original speaker of the language. So we want them to learn Arabic, Chinese, English, and these major languages will allow these kids to become multilingual at a very early stage and have friends from around the world who basically a study says we learn 70% of whatever we know through peer learning. And because now they have friends from around the world, which we hope they will, and we make sure that they do, they will be able to think like a global citizen of the planet Earth, not a citizen of just Karachi or Pakistan. So this is the why and how of Rehan School in Karachi, Pakistan. This is the first branch. We are going to experiment with this for the next 24 to 36 months and keep on sharing our results on the internet. And if you would like to collaborate in any way, please keep an eye on us. We are going very slow at the moment, but we would love to collaborate with other schools, and everything which we are learning, we're putting it on the internet, and you're more than welcome to keep an eye on us and keep guiding us on how we can create a better system. I hope you enjoyed it and are inspired by this idea, and we'll try to replicate it for your own kids. If your school supports it or not, doesn't matter. But if we are able to do these two things, hopefully we will not have very big problems left to be unsolved, because these kids, these students, these young people, young humans will be able to solve them through the power of collaboration and technology. Thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful day.